I'll be honest, I did not know that I was a presenter today. I don't know if that was communicated, but it's good to see everybody. And I always love the opportunity to talk about real estate. It's something I'm passionate about, something I really enjoy doing. It's been such a crazy market. I find that a lot of people usually are interested or have questions about what's going on or what's expected or what we see coming down the pike in the future for the year. The market is still very busy. More, you hear it all the time, and believe me, we're sick of hearing ourselves say it. There is no inventory. It is incredibly difficult trying to get our buyers into homes, but it doesn't mean that we don't see success. I have somebody under contract now, and even in a competitive marketplace, with the right agent by your side, you can get into the house that you want. It's all about knowledge, using an agent that's knowledgeable, somebody that knows, has the relationships with the other agents, somebody that reaches out, knows what the seller is looking for. All of those things play such a key part in getting an offer accepted. It's still very busy right now this year, as we're talking about goals. One of the things that me and my team are really focused on is listings, because the inventory is so short. That's the place where we see the path to least resistance, basically, in terms of making our year the year that we want to make. But we do work with a lot of buyers, serious buyers. Like I said, I just went under contract with something the other day, a house in Mount Olive, and we got our offer accepted. And within 24 hours, I get a call telling me that their propane didn't get delivered and the people were out of town, the homeowners were out of town, and a pipe burst. So there's all this flooding in the basement. So, it's always something that we have to deal with here, but with the right professional by your side, they navigate it and we can keep this deal on track. And that's what me and the other agent are committed to. It's sometimes you have to get a little bit creative and in your problem solving, I guess is the best way to put it. But we are expecting the market to slow down a little bit later this year, just because mortgage rates are expected to go up. Andrea can kind of speak a little bit more to that, but I was just on, talking to another group, and it was kind of the same idea, is that, the next 30 days lock in if you're planning to move in the next 30 days or so, because starting March and then at different intervals throughout the year, they're expecting mortgage rates to jump up quite a bit. So we are looking to meet new clients. If you or anybody is looking to make a move this year, I'd be happy to speak to them personally, whether they work with me or not. I'd be happy to give any advice that I can and guide them in any way that I can. I have a long list of really reliable vendors that I work with for either initial photography for a home listing, or a great house inspector and plumbers, electricians, all of those things. So if you do need anybody or somebody that does, let me know. I'd be happy to have a conversation and help them in any way that I can. Were there any questions from anybody or anybody have a move coming up that they're stressing about or worried about?
What are you seeing on average the time from contract to close now?
It's, right now I have people wanting quick closes because they've been looking for a house for so long, they're ready to move. So I have somebody, it's not a cash deal, because usually cash is going to close faster. It's a mortgage deal, but they want to close in 30 days. So that's what we just had a pipe burst though on that one. So we'll see if that happens, but usually 45 or so, unless something crazy kind of pops up, like a pipe bursting. Just last fall, I had a leaking oil tank in underground that delayed us quite some time, but 45 days, 60 at the absolute longest. Hey, Randy, I see your hand up.
Yeah. Hey, so what is your suggestion if someone's renting and they're trying to buy a house, but for instance, their lease isn't up till, I don't know, the summer, but they find a house in March. So do you break the lease? I know every apartment is different.
Yeah, depend, sometimes working with a individual landlord is different than working with like a larger management company. Yeah. Everybody has different rules. Usually they can be pretty reasonable if you've been there for a while and you say, listen, this is what I'm doing. I am looking for a home. If I find something soon, would you let me out of my lease if I give you 60 days notice? That way, that usually gives you enough time to close and gives you a little bit of time to transition from one place to another and get your move done. So that's usually what I recommend. Ask your landlord, tell them what's going on. If you've been there and have a good rapport with them, they're usually pretty accommodating. And what works in your favor right now is that the rental market is even pretty hot. You know, I
Yeah, it
oversee
is.
10 rental units, and we get calls every day, every week. People are looking for 1 and 2 bedroom apartment rentals, and I'm maxed out. I don't have anything. So across the board, you know, they might be, their position might be, you know what? And if Randy leaves in March or April, that works for us because I can get more rent for his
Yeah.
unit.
I think
sooner.
I guess it's based on the timing.
Mhm.
And if, you know, apartments are still in demand and houses are still in demand, I guess it's tricky.
Yeah, give yourself some time, but the sooner you can lock in a mortgage rate, you should, you know, because after, and Andrea, you can jump in here. I believe it's like kind of March is the expected time frame where they're going to expect them to
They're going
start
to shoot
ticking
up a
up.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're at like 3.5 now, 3.25. Is that right?
That's about right. Yesterday it was 3.3. So listen, it's going to creep up. That's the truth of it. The biggest thing that I find that I'm running into now, I don't know if Erin is having any of this problem, is that a lot of the lenders, especially the ones that they don't have any accountability systems in place. Like they're just online. Not that you can't get something good online. They're not closing them in time. And some people are having their locks expire, which is significant when, you know, you're budgeting yourself for your home and all of a sudden your payment goes up $300 a month because or you can pay to have your lock extended, which is going to cost you even more. So, you know, that's something that I've been noticing. So just make sure that people are locking in for enough time. Yes, you want to lock in for 30 days because you want to close. That doesn't mean you're going to close in 30 days. So just make sure that everyone's, you know, if you know anyone, just make sure they're being realistic with how long they need to lock in for. For every $400, you know, you're looking at maybe $50 in difference in a payment. If it's going to make or break you, that, you know, I'm happy to do the math for you. So if somebody needs the math done, just have them give me a call.
Yeah, so it's definitely a busy real estate market still. And I hope we were able to help Randy and answer that. And of course, offline, I think you have my information. If you ever want to just call me and chat, I'm happy to chat and kind of talk it through, at least from my perspective. You know, I see it from the real estate side, dealing with rentals and everything. But I also see it from the landlord side, working for a property development company as well. So I'm happy to help and advise in any way I can.